Hi everybody, I am Kenya and welcome back to my YouTube channel. So this is my second time filming this video. The first time I filmed it, the quality was just horrible. I did adjust the settings, so hopefully this video will be a better quality. I did order a new camera, however, I didn't get an email that it has shipped yet. And after I ordered it, I got an email basically saying it could take up to 4 weeks to get this camera. And whatever. So I'm waiting on a newer camera. I've been using this camera for quite some time and it's probably just tired. It's just dying, okay? So anyway, I want to talk about how I got into working in property management step by step. A few people have left comments under some of my videos on my YouTube channel asking me exactly like what my step-by-step process was, you know, as far as to getting into property management. So I figured I would just let you guys know now. I'm going to try to make this as quick as possible, but I feel like it's going to be long-winded. So if you're interested in how I got into property management, then just keep on watching. So I've got some rosé. So first things first, I went to Rutgers University. I have a degree, a bachelor's degree in psychology and health sciences, and I also have a minor in English. Prior to working in property management, I did a lot of promotional modeling events, and I have a video on my channel about working as a promotional model. It helped me in the field of real estate and property management. So I did promotional modeling. I was also a flight attendant. I do have that a video about that on my channel as well. And I had like a lot of jobs where I had to be like very hospitable and, you know, very cheery and things of that nature. And I think that prepared me to get into the field of property management. So I did take the real estate course. It was a 2-week course with Weichert. So I do recommend Weichert because I haven't done any other courses. You know, I don't know about any other real estate courses. I actually went to the classroom and did it, and it was technically a course that we did. We learned like I believe it was like 28 chapters in 8 days, and on the 9th day we took our exit exam. So you had to take that exit exam in order to, you know, pass the whole course. And then they gave you like a certificate where you would go to the PSI exam center and take their course. But if you don't get that certificate, you know, from your real estate course, you can't go to the PSI exam center to take that test. So I also have another video on my channel about Weichert real estate course. I suggest you go through all of my real estate videos and all of my property management videos and maybe some of my story time videos to get a good kiki if you like to laugh, you know what I'm saying? You know, just to see if I've talked about anything that you are interested in. So I did the Weichert course, and then I was trying to figure out whether I wanted to work with a smaller boutique firm or a larger one. I really wanted to work with Keller Williams, but then something told me to check out the smaller firms and, you know, real estate firms. And I have a video about that on my channel as well, larger real estate firms versus smaller real estate firms. And I chose to go with a smaller one, which I'm happy that I did. My broker is really nice. I learned a lot from, well, the both of them. They're like a husband and wife duo. And yeah, that's basically how it started. So basically my broker, they have lots of rental listings, and my broker's office is in a major city. There's lots of apartment buildings, condos for rent. It's just a very densely populated area. So that was good for me. And, you know, we had some lower end ones, we had, you know, middle range, and we had higher end ones. So I was able to, you know, work with higher end rentals and lease those out. And so when I went to look for a property management job, I'm going to be honest and say it was pretty hard because I didn't have any experience in property management. And that's where people in property management think that, you know, leasing apartments, they just think it's so different from being a real estate agent. Like, they try to give you this hard time, like, oh my gosh, like, you don't have any property management experience. And it's just like, dude, I've been leasing apartments, 4 to 6 apartments every month. Like, I'm sure I could lease apartments for your property. Like, to me, I don't think there's no difference. The only difference is that when you work in property management, those tenants that you tour and you lease apartments to, you're stuck with them. So if they're crazy, you're going to have to deal with the crazy. And, you know, with a real estate firm, you rent those apartments to people, you never see them again, basically. And as a real estate, you get, like, you know, you get a commission from your broker. So you are only working on commission versus working as a property manager. You get a base salary. And most of the time, most places, they will give you like 100, 200, up to $450 incentives for each apartment that you rent. So that is the only difference, is just like pay wise, I feel like. So I had a couple luxury rentals under my belt. Like I said, it was pretty hard for me to go on, you know, interviews, because people were just like, okay, like, or whatever. And so I worked with the temp agency, which was Office Team, or Robert Half, however you want to refer to it. And I did like a quick 2 to 3 week stint working in commercial real estate, which I talk about on my channel. And then I got hired for a property in Harlem, you know, to work as a leasing agent. And I also interviewed with another temp agency that was specifically for, you know, property management. And I saw online that they were having interviews in Hoboken, sent my resume, they sent me back the location, I went to the interview or whatever, and it was crazy. When I walked in, you know, I was very prepared, and, you know, the ladies who were interviewing, they sort of looked at me like, they gave me this look like, why are you here? You guys ever go on an interview and the interviewer is looking at you like, why are you here? That's the type of look I was getting. And I'm just like, you know, I know I'm a black woman, you know, I try my best to look as professional as possible, as polished. I made sure that, you know, at the time I used to love to rock my natural hair, twist outs. I made sure I had that covered with the straight wig on. I'm just like, yes, I'm about to get this job. So she was taking everybody's information, and she sort of looked at me and was like, oh, you just wait. And so, you know, she gave them my resume, the men that were hiring. I forget what property this was for, what company this was for. But anyway, she was like, oh, they want to see you. So I go out, interview with the guys, and she was like, oh, they actually like you. She said it just like that, they actually like you. Like, she thought I was probably really young and inexperienced, and she's looking like these young kids, like. And I noticed in property management, appearance is everything. Like, you have to be polished, like you have to be nice looking. Like, anytime I've walked into a building and seen a property manager, like, the man was like clean, and the woman, she was flawless. So basically, when I was working as a real estate agent, what made me want to get into property management is because I get like a lot of email blasts from different brokers, opens. I get email blasts from different developers who are, you know, they have these huge properties, apartment communities, and they say, hey, you bring your clients to us, we will pay you 1 month's broker's fee. So I, you know, would bring my clients to these apartment communities, and, you know, I would be greeted by a leasing agent who would essentially take us around. And I noticed that the leasing agents would, you know, and in my mind, I'm like, okay, they're here all day, they don't have to really leave the property. Only thing they have to do is like ride up and down on an elevator or go from one building to the other, but they're in one central location, so if somebody cancels on them, they're at work, so it doesn't really matter. So I was thinking in my head, you know what, I could do this, and that's what made me want to get into property management. So I got hired with that company, and I started working with a lease up, and I'm going to explain to you exactly what a lease up is in another video. So I know I told you guys I will explain to you guys what a lease up was in probably like 4 videos already, but I will. So I did that, did a lease up. It was a brand new property, and I temped there for like about almost 3 months. And meanwhile, I started interviewing with property management companies. And so now my advantage was when I would go to these interviews, I would say, hey, I'm a real estate agent. You know, I'm successful in leasing 4 to 6 apartments per month. I did luxury rentals as well. And now I currently am temping, working through a temp agency at a luxury property, which is a lease up. And, you know, that would perk their ears up and make them want to be like, okay, you know, she has some sort of, you know, idea how this goes or whatever, because she's currently working, you know, as, you know, a leasing agent on this property. So that was good, and it worked to my advantage. And then I got hired with the company that I was working with for almost 2 years, and I'm not currently working with them anymore. I'm going to get into that right after I film this video. But that is essentially how I got into property management. Now, it's pretty hard because a lot of these properties that are going up are tax credit properties. I do have a video on my channel about tax credit properties if you're curious to know what a tax credit property is. And a lot of the times you have to be certified, and you know, you have to have some type of certifications in being able to certify people for these apartment units. So basically about 20% of the units on a tax credit property goes to affordable housing. So you have to be certified, and you have to have some type of certificate to, you know, recertify those people. And I don't have any certificates in that area. The company that I work for, we outsourced that to a third-party company. So a consulting we use a consulting company to recertify those people. However, I did collect these people's documents, and I am familiar with the process. So now when I go on interviews, I can tell them, hey, I work with a tax credit property. You know, we use a third-party company to certify these people to make sure that they will qualify for the apartments. I do know how it goes. I collected all these people's documents to forward it to the third-party company. So that is another advantage that I have. Now, do you need a bachelor's degree to work in property management? For the most part, most of the time, you do need a bachelor's degree. Sometimes you don't. I found myself working with people who don't have no formal education, high school dropouts, but you know how they got that job? Because they knew somebody. And we're going to talk about that in another video. Me sitting next to somebody with as much student loan debt as I have, sitting next to somebody with no college degree, basically doing the same thing I'm doing, is pretty insulting to me, period. In some states around the country, you need to be certified in property management. Like there's a certification that you take to work in property management. Sometimes they look for real estate agents to work in property management. Sometimes if you are a real estate agent, you have to hang your license with you know, the property, the company that you're working with, because it can be considered a conflict of interest to work as a real estate agent and work in property management. However, I worked in the middle of New Jersey, and my broker's office was at the top of the at the top of Jersey. So it really wasn't a conflict of interest, because anybody looking to live in the middle of New Jersey, I can't say, hey, you know, if you don't like this, I got a place for you up in Hoboken, because it's like, that is way far from where I work. So I basically still have my license hung with my broker's office, even though I worked in property management. So that's basically how I got into property management. That is just my work history and my work background as far as working in property management. I actually really liked working in property management. I like working as a real estate agent. I like just meeting different people every day. And you know, I'm not sure what I want to do going forward. I know I want to continue to work in real estate, but I'm not sure like what I want to do, because real estate is so broad. It's like there's so many positions and things you can do as far as real estate. But I do want to continue a career in the field of real estate, whether it be like commercial or property management. I'm just not sure yet. So I hope that that answers you guys' questions. I hope that it wasn't too confusing. And if you have any other questions, just put it in the comment section, and I will make sure that I answer it for you. And yeah, like I said, check out my real estate playlist, my property management playlist, and my story time playlist. And I will see you guys in my next YouTube video. Toodles!
Check it out, check it out. What you want, go great position.